Okay, so, quick confession. My new alien roommate just walked in on me, completely naked. And apparently, on her planet. That means we're emotionally married. So yeah, that's how my intergalactic exchange program turned into the most awkward love story in the galaxy. I should have known things were going to get weird the moment my shuttle touched down on Eloris, a planet that looked like someone spilled glitter over a rainforest and decided to call it civilization. The sky wasn't blue or purple. It was somewhere in between, like the color of an apology you don't really mean. As I stepped off the ramp, the air hit me, sweet, electric, and a little too clean. My guide, a floating orb named RYN, hummed beside me and said in that cheerful robotic voice, "Welcome, Ethan Reyes. Please avoid emotional outbursts. Elorians are sensitive to fluctuations." Fluctuations. I repeated, "Buddy, I'm a fluctuation." Everywhere I looked, alien citizens glided through the streets with unnerving grace, tall, silver-skinned, eyes like dark water. They didn't walk, they flowed. The buildings curved around trees instead of cutting them down, glowing softly like breathing glass. It was all impossibly peaceful, which made my presence feel like a coffee stain on a silk dress. RYN guided me toward my new living pod, a sleek structure woven into a giant tree. "Your assigned roommate awaits inside," it said. I nodded, trying to smooth my hair, which, thanks to Eloris's humidity, had already declared independence from my head. The door slid open soundlessly, and there she was, Lyra, my alien roommate, taller than me by a head, with skin that shimmered faintly blue and eyes that seemed to hold entire constellations. When she spoke, her voice had this musical vibration, like it was echoing inside me. "Ethan Reyes," she said, "you're loud." Vocally or emotionally?" She tilted her head. "Yes." Great start. She offered me a cup of something steaming and turquoise. I took a cautious sip, sweet, spicy, and confusing, kind of like my entire life at that point. As we sat across from each other, the silence between us wasn't awkward. It was aware. She didn't just look at me. She felt me. Literally. "I can sense your nerves," she said softly. "They taste metallic." I laughed, though it came out shaky. "Yeah, that's my anxiety. It's a full-body flavor." Her lips curved into the smallest smile. And just like that, my year-long alien exchange began, with a grin, a nervous heartbeat, and the distant suspicion that things were about to get a lot more complicated. By my third day on Eloris, I had learned 3 things. Their food glows in the dark. Their showers don't have doors. My roommate had the patience of a saint, or a telepathic saint who kept catching me thinking about coffee. That morning, I woke up to the smell of something floral and faintly electric. Lyra was meditating in the main room, surrounded by floating orbs of light. She looked peaceful, serene, everything I wasn't. I muttered a quick morning and stumbled into the washroom. The shower was a marvel of alien engineering, just a misty field of light that wrapped around you and somehow knew when to stop. I was halfway through humming an off-key earth tune when the door slid open without warning. Lyra stepped in. For half a heartbeat, neither of us moved. Her dark eyes widened, catching every ounce of my embarrassment like a camera flash. The air itself seemed to freeze. Then I did what any rational human would do in an interspecies cultural disaster. I yelled, "Oh, come on," and grabbed the nearest towel. She froze completely, her silver-blue skin flushing into a brighter hue I didn't think was physically possible. The energy in the room shimmered, like invisible ripples in the air. I realized, horrified, that she was feeling everything I felt. Shock, panic, mortification. Lyra took a step back, her voice trembling but calm. "I did not sense you were inside." "Yeah, well, I didn't sense you were about to make first contact." Her lips parted, then closed again as she tried to find words. For an empathic alien, she looked as lost as I felt. The ripples faded, but the silence between us didn't. After what felt like a lifetime, she whispered, "On Eloris, to be seen in that state means emotional truth. It's considered sacred." Sacred, of course. Out of all the planets in the galaxy, I had to get naked on the one where it counts as a spiritual confession. She turned quickly toward the door. I will allow you privacy. Good plan, I said, still clutching the towel like my life depended on it. The door closed behind her with a soft hiss. And that's when it hit me. Whatever just happened, it wasn't going to stay an awkward accident. It was the kind of mistake that came with consequences. Lyra didn't talk to me for the rest of that day. Not out of anger, more like she was trying to calm down a storm that had accidentally blown through her mind. And apparently, that storm was me. By evening, she finally knocked on my door. When I opened it, she stood there holding 2 cups of that glowing turquoise tea. "We need to talk," she said softly. That phrase never means anything good, on Earth or anywhere else in the galaxy. We sat across from each other again, just like the first night. But this time, the air between us felt heavier. She looked at me carefully, her gaze sharp but not unkind. "Since the incident," she began, "I've been feeling your emotions, even when you're not near." I blinked, like psychic Wi-Fi. Her lips twitched. "Something like that. Our emotional frequencies merged. It's temporary, I hope." I groaned. "So every time I get anxious, you'll just, what, start sweating for no reason?" "More like the walls hum," she said matter-of-factly. And right on cue, the light panels around us flickered. I rubbed my face. "Oh, perfect. I'm literally breaking your house with my feelings." Over the next few days, it got weirder. Whenever I was frustrated, plants in the room wilted slightly. When I laughed, the lights brightened. When I got embarrassed, well, Lyra's skin would glow faintly pink. We both pretended not to notice. Still, between the chaos, something started to shift. I caught her watching me while I worked, curious, almost amused. And sometimes I'd catch emotions from her, gentle curiosity, flashes of warmth that didn't belong to me. One evening, we sat outside beneath Eloris's twin moons. The silence was calm, for once. I asked, "So, how long does a merge like this usually last?" She hesitated. No Elorian has ever bonded this strongly with a human. It could fade in days or stay forever. I swallowed, trying to sound casual. "No pressure." Then Lyra smiled faintly. "You humans feel everything so loudly. It's terrifying and beautiful." For the first time, I didn't feel embarrassed. I felt seen, connected in a way words couldn't explain. And somewhere deep down, I realized this wasn't an accident anymore. It was the start of something neither of us understood, but neither of us wanted to end. It had been a week since the accident, and life had turned into an emotional circus. Lyra and I were getting used to our shared moods. Well, mostly. I sneezed once during breakfast, and her plants bloomed. She laughed. I nearly choked on alien cereal. But underneath the laughter, something had started to change. She looked distracted. One night, I caught her in the common room, whispering to someone through a small holographic device. Her voice was sharp, urgent, nothing like her usual calm. When she noticed me, the hologram vanished instantly. "Who was that?" I asked. "No one important," she said too quickly. The problem was, I could feel her guilt buzzing in the air. Literally, my stomach tightened. "You're lying," I said quietly. She froze. For the first time, Lyra couldn't meet my eyes. Later that night, curiosity got the better of me. I accessed the data tablet assigned to my exchange project. Buried under system logs, I found a file labeled Human Emotional Resonance Trial, Subject 01. My heart sank. The report detailed everything. My moods, her reactions, even the accidental exposure event. It wasn't random. It was planned. The next morning, I confronted her. "So that's why I'm here? Some government science experiment." Lyra's calm facade cracked. "I didn't know. Not at first. They told me you volunteered." "I volunteered to study flora, not be the lab rat." She took a step forward, her voice trembling. "Ethan, please, when I found out, I tried to end it, but the bond, your emotions. Don't you dare blame my emotion for your choices." Her face fell. For the first time since I'd met her, her glow dimmed completely. "I never wanted to hurt you," she whispered. "But this connection, it's real. I feel you, even now. Your anger burns like fire." I did. I could feel my pulse shaking through the air, wrapping around both of us. The silence after that was suffocating. I wanted to leave, to shut the link off somehow, but deep down, I knew walking away wasn't possible, not without breaking something inside both of us. That night, I lay awake, torn between fury and longing, because no matter how betrayed I felt, one truth kept echoing in my chest. I still felt her heartbeat inside mine. For 2 days, Lyra and I didn't speak. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It pulsed with unspoken words, with everything we both felt but refused to say. Every time I tried to ignore the connection, her emotions brushed against mine, soft but insistent, like a heartbeat I couldn't shut out. I was angry. She was ashamed. And beneath it all, there was still something deeper, something neither of us could deny. On the third night, she came to my room. The glow from her skin was faint, like moonlight fading through fog. "Ethan," she said quietly, "they want to separate us. The council believes the bond is dangerous." I laughed bitterly. "They created it." "Yes," she said, "but they didn't expect it to evolve." Her eyes met mine. "They say if we don't sever it soon, one of us could lose ourselves entirely." That hit harder than I expected. Lose ourselves. What did that even mean? Forget who we were? Forget her? "There's another option," she continued. "A ritual. The merge. It stabilizes a link permanently, but it fuses both minds. If it fails, it could kill us." I stared at her. "So our choices are heartbreak or obliteration." She smiled faintly. "Pretty much." For a moment, neither of us moved. Then I reached out, taking her hand. "We started this mess together. Let's end it the same way." We stood in the resonance hall, surrounded by a soft, living light. The walls hummed with energy as we faced each other. Lyra's voice trembled. "You have to stay calm. Ethan, your emotions drive the merge." "Calm," I muttered. "Right. My best quality." Despite everything, she laughed, a small, genuine sound that steadied my heart. As our palms touched, the room ignited with light. Memories flashed through my mind. Earth, my childhood, every awkward moment, every laugh we'd shared. Then her memories followed. Endless forests, starlit skies, loneliness I'd never imagined. I felt her fear, her hope, her love. When the light faded, I was still standing, but everything felt different. The connection wasn't a noise anymore. It was harmony. 2 voices, 1 rhythm. Lyra's eyes met mine. "You stayed?" "Guess I'm hard to uninstall," I said softly. Outside, the twin suns rose, flooding the world in gold. And as her hand tightened in mine, I knew one thing for sure. Sometimes, the biggest accidents are the ones that make you whole.